How much does it cost to make a movie? This is the Indie Low Budget Breakdown. Hi, Rich here, welcome to Simplified Filming. Today we are talking about budgets. How to budget your low budget film. I'm here to help motivated filmmakers like yourself who are struggling with the process of making their first feature film, to instead know the simple and achievable process of writing, shooting, and selling that feature film, ultimately achieving your dream. So we all know that budgeting can be a difficult thing to do, like where do you put your money? Where should it go? How should you allocate it? Today we're gonna break it down in real simple form. So make sure you stay to the end of the video so you don't miss it. And in the meantime, since you're staying here, slap the like button for me. So the first big question should be, how much does a movie cost? So movies can cost pretty much anything. They can cost anything from, like multi-million dollars like the big ones you see, but when it comes to low budget stuff, they can be anywhere from $0 to like 10 grand. So how much does a movie cost to make? Whatever you want to spend on it. And that's the honest truth. There have been films that have been made for literally zero money. However, more than likely, for your first feature film, you'll be spending anywhere from like a couple thousand to 15,000. So the amount that you spend on a movie really doesn't matter. It's a matter of where you put the money and where you allocate those funds. So let's talk about that right now. First of all, drum roll please. It's going to be, go ahead and comment below right now while I'm doing this. Ryan, you're not gonna put a sound effect of me drumming, are you? Damn it. Number one is going to be insurance. Now, I know that's boring. You were expecting me to say like, camera equipment so your film looks like dope! But insurance is the most important. There's lots of different production insurances that you can get, and you can just honestly Google it. That's what I did. You Google it and you find out what it's gonna take to protect your crew and protect properties that you're shooting on. Also, E&O insurance, which is errors and admission insurance. This prevents you from getting sued if you accidentally have a product or a logo in the background and the company sues. If I hold up this trademarked Jack, I have to bleep it out because I don't want to get sued. This insurance is kind of expensive. It can range anywhere from $1,500 all the way up to $3 grand, depending on the size of your production and how studious you are at removing logos or not using trademarked items or slogans. But unfortunately, that is number one. And the second priority is going to be, I'm not gonna do the drum roll, is going to be food and crafting. Making sure that your crew and the people that are participating in your project are properly fed is critical, because you'd be surprised how willing people are to work for free and work evenings and weekends as long as they know they're getting fed well. And especially if it's in kind of harsh environments like either super cold or really super hot, if they know they're going to be well taken care of, you'll be surprised how willing people are to work for very little, if no money at all. So making sure they're fed well and your cast and crew are taken care of is absolutely second priority for your budget. And the third is going to be props and effects. And the reason that this one is so high is because that's what's really gonna sell your film. If you're trying to do a horror film and you have terrible props and effects, it's just not gonna sell. People aren't gonna buy it if there isn't just gobs of blood. So it's really important that you prioritize your wardrobe, your costumes, and the props, that the props look good, and that you're spending time on making that look good, because don't forget, in the end, you gotta shoot your trailer shots. More videos on that coming up. And if you have crappy props during those trailer shots, you're not gonna have a good trailer, therefore you won't sell your movie. And then step number 4 is wages. Wages are incredibly important. You should be paying your crew. If you can't exchange value, meaning that you can offer them something for them working on your film, then paying them is the next most important thing above actually getting food and stuff, which we already talked about. But you absolutely need to try to do whatever you can to make sure you actually give them money and cash for the work and the effort that they're putting into your project. And if somebody's traveling, make sure that their hotel is paid for and you give them extra cash for food. And priority number 5 for your budgeting is going to be locations. If you have to pay for an awesome location, it's absolutely worth its money because the location is going to sell. Now, this one's a little controversial because I would honestly sometimes throw it above props and wardrobes, but sometimes it just depends. Because sometimes location and how awesome that location is going to look is going to be way more important than props and wardrobes. So these two are kind of interchangeable. And number 6, we're finally getting into cool equipment. It's going to be data management. You thought I was gonna say cameras. Data management is incredibly important because guess what? Here's this weird phenomenon that a lot of people don't know. Kind of about Hollywood and stuff like that. So, but here's this weird thing. If you don't have the footage, you don't have a movie. Duh! But it's incredibly important that you can manage your data and you can manage it quickly and efficiently on your set. As I've mentioned before in previous videos, you've got to be able to back it up quickly and back it up twice so you have 2 hard drives at all times of this film. Because again, if you have one, you have none. So data management is incredibly important. So before you take the rest of your budget and go buy a new Zeiss lens or something like that, buy some extra hard drives, buy a little small laptop computer or little backup hub that will allow you to be able to back up and put it onto 2 different hard drives. One can go home with you and one will go home with another crew member. That way you have 2 separate hard drives on 2 different locations. Because we all know what it's like to lose that. Make sure you guys comment below if you've ever lost footage and you're just like, because you can't get it back. And number 7 on the list, we're talking about equipment now, is going to be, I'm doing it again, audio equipment. Yeah, that's right, still not camera equipment. Audio is easily 80 to 85% of your video. As I've mentioned before in previous videos, if I were just to go, you would be really confused, like, what just happened? But if I were to keep talking and the screen goes blank like this, you still get a general idea of what's going on. And if the audio sounds crappy like this is the on-camera audio from here, then people are going to click off your video really quickly. That's why it's really important that you spend your money on good audio equipment. There's nothing that will make people click away from your video faster than bad audio. And now we talk about video equipment. What camera should you buy? Just joking, it's not what camera you should buy, it's what will make whatever camera you have more efficient. So you may be shooting on just a cheap camera, maybe that's 10 or 15 years old. So the what? As long as it follows my 5 suggested tips that I'll link in the video right here, you're gonna be perfectly fine. So you need to buy then equipment that will make your production a lot more efficient. Maybe that's a steady cam, maybe that's a shoulder mount. That's what you should be spending your money on. Now granted, if you have no camera, then maybe you've got to prioritize some money toward that. But more than likely, you've got a camera that's going to be perfectly suitable for shooting your first feature film. So make sure you also let me know in the comments below what camera you're shooting on. I'm curious, you know, because I guarantee I'll be like, it's good enough. Go shoot your movie now. No more excuses. And then number 9 is a little more controversial because you can actually end up raising money in post-production after you've shot this. But that is post-production. Make sure you put some money aside so that way you can spend immediately after you're done shooting your movie just time on editing the movie. Because you'll be on such a freaking high after accomplishing your dream and you shot your first feature film. You're ready to go. You are on fire. Use that fire before it burns down to edit and do the most editing that you possibly can. Because I will tell you, post-production is where low-budget independent films go to die. There are so many low-budget films that go and they die just because the director or the executive producer completely runs out of steam and energy. So if you can at all set aside any amount of time, a week, maybe 2, there's no reason that you couldn't have a real good solid rough cut in that amount of time. For my feature film, The Beast, I had a completely working festival version in less than a month and a half. For my second feature film, Monster Gold, I had it in 4 days, a rough cut. Now that rough cut included music, sound effects, and everything. In fact, you can still find the rough cut on my website, which you don't have access to. But that's a testament that I was on fire, and so I was working for 10 hours a day editing that thing, and guess what? I had it accomplished and done in less than 4 days. It takes a lot of strength. My dad didn't think I could do it. I mean, I don't know why my dad doesn't think I'm tough. I don't get that. There's no reason, if you shoot it correctly and you're budgeting correctly, that you can't take a week or 2 off of work so you can just solely focus on that. You can't allow your baby, your film that you did, sit on your hard drive, become boring, obnoxious, and a burden to the point that you completely give up like the majority of filmmakers do.
How can my dreams go so horribly wrong?
And last priority, again, is at the end, because you can raise through maybe a Kickstarter campaign or a Indiegogo campaign, you can raise the extra money for this. And that would be festivals and advertisement. I'm going to have more videos specifically about this in the future, but it is important that you do pay money and you try to set aside money to help for these festival entry fees and to have you go to the festivals if you get selected. It's important that you're setting aside money because that is really expensive. So now that you have your story, you're ready to go, you have your budget, and what's the next step? The next step is to create an electronic press kit, an EPK. I'm going to link to the video right here on how to do that, and I'm also going to link to a video right here that's also going to help you in this journey. And don't forget, in the meantime, always be creating.